Welcome back to the Arcane Archives for another captivating episode. Well, deep dive. Tonight we're venturing into some shadowy depths. A secret society whispered to exist just beyond, our everyday reality. The Order of the Nine Angles.
Seekers of forbidden knowledge, you could say. Claiming to possess insights that transcend, conventional morality. Some say they even delve into the fabric of reality itself.
Like stepping into a forgotten myth, right? Ancient rituals, forgotten deities, and a relentless quest for ultimate power.
Yeah. Their origins are shrouded in mystery, while traces of their activities surface, occasionally. Their true beginnings remain elusive, hidden behind, layers of secrecy and misinformation.
Makes you wonder if they deliberately cultivate this air of mystery, doesn't it? Part of their allure, maybe. A way to weed out the merely curious from those truly committed to their path.
Yeah, their doctrines, what we can glean from them, are a kind of a tapestry woven from threads of the darkest philosophies. Satanism, paganism, and echoes of forbidden ideologies.
A potent and unsettling combination, to say the least. It's almost as if they've deliberately sought out the most extreme, most taboo elements from each tradition.
What's truly fascinating, though, is their perspective on history. They believe that it unfolds not in a linear progression, but in vast cycles. They call these eons.
So rather than seeing time as a straight line, they envision it as a spiral, repeating patterns of rise and fall.
Precisely. And according to their teachings, we're currently nearing the end of one such eon. Their goal, as they proclaim it, is to usher in the next. One ruled by a race they believe to be superior, and destined to forge a galactic empire.
It's a chilling vision, almost Lovecraftian in its scope.
Yeah.
They're not simply dabbling in dark magic, they're aiming to reshape the very fabric of civilization itself.
And their approach is even more disturbing. They subscribe to a philosophy known as antinomianism, which essentially means they reject all forms of societal and moral constraints.
So for them, there is no right or wrong, no good or evil, only the pursuit of their ultimate objective.
In their view, these concepts are mere illusions, shackles holding back humanity's true potential. They believe that only by breaking free from these limitations can we ascend to a higher state of being. But their path to this so-called enlightenment is paved with darkness and transgression, littered with acts that most would find reprehensible, even horrifying.
It's a stark contrast to most spiritual paths, which generally emphasize compassion, empathy, and the pursuit of inner peace. Theirs seems to revel in the opposite.
Precisely. Their beliefs and practices challenge our very understanding of, good and evil, blurring the lines until they become almost indistinguishable.
Which brings us to the entities they venerate. If their philosophy is so unorthodox, one can only imagine the nature of their deities.
Their pantheon is not for the faint of heart. They invoke beings of immense power, but also of immense darkness. Entities that embody the chaotic and primal forces of the universe.
It's as if they've sought out the most primal, the most untamed aspects of the divine, those forces that most would shy away from. Tell me, who are some of these figures that populate their dark cosmology?
One of their central figures is Baphomet, often misrepresented as a simple symbol of fertility. They see her as much more, an embodiment of the untamed, chaotic forces that drive creation and destruction alike.
So, not exactly a benevolent goddess watching over humanity.
Not in the traditional sense, no. She represents the raw, untamed power of the universe, the primal energy that fuels both creation and destruction. They believe that by tapping into this force, they can transcend the limitations of human existence and reshape reality itself.
It's a dangerous game they're playing, isn't it? Trying to harness such primal power.
Indeed. And then there's Azot, a figure shrouded in even deeper mystery. He embodies the principles of magic and alchemy, holding the keys, they believe, to unlocking the secrets of spiritual transformation.
But there's always a price to pay in such bargains, isn't there? Nothing comes without a cost.
Their belief system is steeped in this concept of sacrifice. They believe that true power can only be attained through trials and ordeals, through pushing oneself to the very limits of endurance, both physical and mental.
So it's not simply a matter of studying ancient texts or performing rituals. They believe that one must actively confront and embrace the darkest aspects of existence in order to achieve transcendence.
Precisely. And finally, there's Nythra, representing the primordial void, the nothingness from which all things emerged. Her worship is said to involve confronting the abyss itself, staring into the very heart of non-existence.
It sounds terrifying, yet also strangely compelling. The idea of facing the ultimate void, of confronting the very source of creation and annihilation.
This is the paradox at the heart of their beliefs. They seek to understand the universe not by observing it from a safe distance, but by immersing themselves in its most chaotic and destructive aspects.
But how do they actually put these beliefs into practice? What do these rituals, these confrontations with the abyss actually involve?
That's where their practices become even more disturbing, even more challenging to comprehend. They engage in rituals specifically designed to push their followers to the absolute limits of human experience.
Give me an example. What kind of rituals are we talking about here?
They have these practices they call rituals of individuation, designed to shatter the ego and reveal the individual's true potential. But the methods they employ are often extreme, even grotesque.
So it's not just about meditation and chanting in a peaceful setting. These rituals involve pushing the boundaries of both physical and psychological endurance.
Precisely. Think of them as trials by fire, designed to burn away all that is false, all that is weak, leaving only the raw essence of the individual.
It sounds almost like a form of spiritual boot camp, designed to forge individuals who are utterly ruthless and unconstrained by conventional morality.
In a way, yes. They believe that by embracing the darkest aspects of their nature, they can transcend the limitations of their former selves and achieve a state of absolute freedom and power.
And what about their infamous black masses?
Yeah.
I've heard whispers of these rituals, but the details are always vague and shrouded in secrecy.
These are not your, typical religious ceremonies. They're acts of deliberate desecration and transgression, often incorporating elements of forbidden practices, challenging the very foundations of societal norms.
It sounds like they're deliberately courting controversy, even outrage. But what's the purpose behind such provocative actions? What are they trying to achieve?
They believe that by defying conventional morality and embracing taboo practices, they can tap into hidden sources of power. It's a dangerous game they're playing, walking a tightrope between spiritual exploration and utter chaos.
It seems like every aspect of their belief system revolves around this idea of pushing boundaries, of confronting the forbidden and the taboo.
And this brings us to another fascinating and equally disturbing aspect of their practices, the sevenfold way.
Hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's delve into the intricacies of these black masses and the sevenfold way in our next segment. Listeners, stay with us as we continue to explore the shadowy world of the Order of the Nine Angles.
These black masses, they're not, gatherings of cloaked figures in dark forests. They're more insidious, woven into the fabric of everyday life.
So instead of chanting in robes, we're talking about acts that fly in the face of what society considers acceptable. Actions meant to shock and disrupt.
Precisely. They see it as a way to, tear down the structures of control they believe bind humanity. A sort of chaotic rebellion against the status quo.
But isn't that counterproductive? Wouldn't such blatant acts only serve alienate potential followers and draw unwanted attention?
They don't seek large numbers or public approval. Their path, as they see it, is for the select few. Those strong enough to withstand the trials and embrace the darkness.
Which brings us to the sevenfold way. It sounds like a path riddled with danger and potential for harm.
Imagine a labyrinth with 7 levels, each more challenging and perilous than the last. That's the essence of their system.
And what awaits at the end of this labyrinth? What is the ultimate goal of those who undertake this perilous journey?
They believe it leads to a state of complete liberation, a transcendence of the limitations of human perception and morality.
But at what cost? The glimpses we've had into their beliefs suggest a path paved with sacrifice and transgression.
They don't shy away from the darkness. In fact, they embrace it, believing that true power can only be attained by confronting and mastering the most primal forces within oneself and the universe.
It's a stark contrast to the more traditional paths of spiritual enlightenment, which often emphasize compassion, selflessness, and a connection to something greater than oneself.
Their path is one of self-deification, of forging oneself into a being of immense power, unbound by conventional notions of good and evil.
And this brings us to a topic that's both fascinating and unsettling. Their practice of what they call aeonic magic. It sounds almost Lovecraftian in its scope and ambition.
It's their attempt to influence the very course of history, to steer the currents of time towards their, desired outcome.
So they're not simply seeking personal transformation. They believe they can actually manipulate events on a global scale to bring about their vision of the future.
Their belief in cyclical history, these eons they speak of, informs their actions. They believe that by understanding the patterns of the past, they can influence the present and shape the future.
But doesn't that imply a level of control, a level of knowledge that borders on the godlike? It seems almost impossible to fathom.
They don't see it as impossible. They believe that such power lies dormant within us all, waiting to be unlocked through the proper rituals and practices.
But there must be a dark side to all of this, a price to be paid for such forbidden knowledge and audacious ambitions.
Their beliefs have led some down paths that cross the line between spiritual exploration and criminal activity.
What do you mean? Can you be more specific?
There have been, whispers, accusations of ritualistic practices that involve acts of violence and transgression that most would find abhorrent.
Are you suggesting that their pursuit of power and enlightenment has led them to commit acts of unspeakable cruelty?
It's a difficult question to answer definitively. The truth, as with so much about this organization, is shrouded in layers of secrecy and misinformation.
But the very fact that such accusations exist, that there's even a possibility of such a darkness at the heart of their beliefs, is deeply unsettling.
It's a reminder that the pursuit of power, even spiritual power, can be a dangerous and corrupting force.
So where do we go from here? What are we to make of this shadowy organization and their unsettling beliefs?
They offer a glimpse into the darkest recesses of human ambition, a cautionary tale of what can happen when the pursuit of knowledge and power becomes unmoored from any sense of ethics or compassion.
It's a sobering thought, but it's important to understand such groups, to shine a light on their beliefs and practices, no matter how disturbing they may be.
Knowledge is power, as they say, and by understanding the forces at play in the world, both light and dark, we can better navigate the complexities of our own existence.
It seems that our journey into the heart of the Order of the Nine Angles has left us with more questions than answers. But perhaps that's the nature of the truly mysterious, the truly profound. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to grapple with the unsettling truths that lie hidden beneath the veil of everyday reality. Listeners, stay with us as we attempt to make sense of what we've uncovered and explore the deeper implications of this shadowy organization and their pursuit of forbidden knowledge. It's a slippery slope, isn't it? The pursuit of spiritual enlightenment twisted into something sinister and potentially dangerous.
The allure of forbidden knowledge, the promise of power beyond human comprehension, it can be intoxicating, but it often comes at a steep price.
It seems they've traded compassion for control, seeking to dominate rather than understand the forces they claim to command.
Their path is one of isolation, of separating themselves from the rest of humanity. They see themselves as above the masses, the arbiters of a new world order.
But true power doesn't come from isolating oneself, does it? It comes from connection, from understanding our place within the grand tapestry of existence.
Their beliefs are a stark reminder that the pursuit of knowledge and power must be tempered with wisdom and compassion. Without these guiding principles, we risk becoming the very things we seek to transcend.
So if someone is genuinely interested in exploring the occult and delving into the mysteries of existence, how can they do so safely and ethically?
There are paths of spiritual exploration that emphasize balance, that recognize the interconnectedness of all things, paths that don't require sacrificing one's humanity in the pursuit of power.
It's about finding a path that aligns with our values, that helps us become better versions of ourselves rather than twisted reflections of our darkest desires.
The true journey of enlightenment is not about conquering the universe, but understanding our place within it. It's about recognizing the inherent beauty and wonder in all things, even the darkness.
It's a powerful message, one that resonates deeply in the face of the darkness we've encountered in our exploration of the Order of the Nine Angles.
Their existence serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge and power must always be guided by a strong moral compass and a deep respect for the sanctity of life.
It's a reminder that true strength lies not in dominance, but in empathy, in recognizing the shared humanity that binds us all.
Let their path be a beacon, not of what to emulate, but of what to avoid. A reminder that the pursuit of enlightenment should lead us towards greater understanding and compassion, not further into the shadows.
Well said. It's a message we all need to hear in these times of uncertainty and division. May we all strive to be beacons of light, illuminating the path towards a brighter future. A future where knowledge and power are used for the betterment of humanity, not its destruction.
Indeed. May we all find our own paths to enlightenment, paths that lead us towards greater understanding, compassion, and connection with the universe and all its wonders.
That's a wrap for today. Stay curious, and see you in the next episode.